Joined by Beacon's Lacrosse head coach Tyler Lowe after a 2-0 week. Coach, a pair of victories, the second one bigger than the first. How happy were you with your team's performance, especially getting as many contributions up and down the line as you guys did in those first two games?
Yeah, I was really pleased with the progress that we made from game one to game two, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We knew we had a lot of things we needed to clean up, but that was to be expected with, kind of it being our first game and being a little late to start from a practice standpoint. But we're pleased with the adjustments that we made from game one to game two, and we're pleased with a lot of guys that it really stepped up and made an impact on both sides of the field.
Offensively, the numbers are staggering: 25 goals in the first game, a program record 30 in the second game. And obviously your big guys have had strong starts this season, but 11 different guys with multiple goals, 19 different players have scored at least one goal. What does that say about kind of the depth up and down and kind of how much talent you have that's ready to step in at any moment?
Yeah, I think it speaks to the identity that we've created, not just on offense, but as a team as a whole. I think our assistant coaches have done an unbelievable job preparing our guys, really dating back to last year. So those are the guys that are really driving the bus, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We do have a deep group, which we're very pleased about, but I think it kind of speaks to the identity that we've developed. We want to be a team that's attacking as much as we possibly can. And for that to happen, we really need guys to buy in, whether it's attackman or a goalie. So
offensively, the one guy who has stood out a little bit more than some of the other guys, Gavin Admirand, already with 14 goals. He's over 50 points as a Beacon, and he's only played 6 games. What does it say about him? Not only that he's putting up those offensive numbers, but also picked up the defensive player of the week after causing quite a few turnovers and picking up a lot of ground balls.
Gavin's a pretty special kid, and obviously he's talented, but he's surrounded by a lot of other talented guys. And I think one of the things that sets him apart, like others on our team, is really just how hard he plays. He goes as hard as he possibly can, really every second of every shift. And I think I'm pleased that he was rewarded for that with, both offensive and defensive player of the week this week. But I think it's a tribute to really just how hard he works and just how hard he plays.
Another guy that picked up an award this week, Trevor Koppy, picks up goalie of the week. But in a bigger sense, all 4 of your goalies have played, and all 4 of your goalies have played well thus far. Save percentage almost .650 through your first 2 games.
Yeah, we're really pleased with all 4 guys. We've had some freshmen who were able to get their first game experience on Saturday, and I think they've really stepped up. I think it's really a tribute to how Koppy and Charlie Cook have really pushed those guys and helped those guys along as leaders in the net. But I think having 4 really strong goalies has really allowed us to, have a lot of competition in practice. And there's days where some guys are, have a little more than others. But I think that there's kind of a recognition that they're really competing for minutes every day. And I think that's really brought out the best in those guys.
We take a look ahead. Busiest stretch of your season, which it's not a long season, but 3 games in 5 days is asking a lot. Eastern Connecticut State on Tuesday, Western Connecticut State on Thursday, and then your lone non-conference game against undefeated Massachusetts Maritime on Saturday. What's the game plan in terms of kind of preparing you for such a short turnaround? This will be the first time some of these guys have played this many games. And then also you're playing a little bit stiffer competition than you've probably played these last 2 games of this year and the first 4 games of last season.
Sure. I think the mindset that we've taken has really been we need to pursue the best version of ourselves every single game. And I think, that to us allows us to really be hopefully excel with a quick turnaround because the focus is really on ourselves. Obviously, we put a ton of effort and emphasis on the scouting report and the film work that we do. And our guys have really bought in and understood that, even though it's through Zoom, I've been very happy. I think it's one of the benefits that you give up some stuff having the scout and having the film not being in person, but I think there's some benefits to it being virtual as well, just in terms of how engaged guys are. Again, our assistant coaches have done a great job preparing and really putting in the hours to help get those done kind of ahead of time and take advantage when we do have a day or two to take a breath and refocus. But really the people that we rely on the most are, our Jeff Ebbs, Alexa, and Ed really in helping prepare our guys and keep our guys healthy, and that they're going to be as important this week. And we really need to rely on the work that they've put in so far in helping our guys, get fit and stay healthy.
Coach, one final question. You've played 2 games, 1 at home, 1 on the road. How do you kind of bring your own energy with no fans in the stands? There's not necessarily a home advantage for either side outside of maybe one team having to be on the bus, but Do you have to bring a little bit more energy on the bench or within your team to really create that kind of game atmosphere?
Absolutely. We talk about how important it is that our guys make our own energy, and really more so than ever, whether you're a guy who's a starter or you're a guy who's the last guy on our bench, you have an ability to contribute in terms of the energy you're bringing on the sideline, the energy you're bringing on the field, the support you're showing your teammates. And I think that's going to be a critical piece. I think the teams that don't need to rely on the crowd's energy to get up and stay up, and don't need to rely on the crowd's energy to kind of get through down times in a game or mistakes, I think are going to have a lot of success down the stretch here.